Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater, and this morning we are taking an inside look into the 33rd annual Hotter Than Hell 100. It is coming up fast. August 23rd is the big day for the largest single-day bike ride in the country, and it's all taking place in Wichita Falls. So joining me now with the details, we have Carol Elder. She is with Crazy Water. We also have Julie Ayers. She is the Hotter Than Hell Public Information Officer, and of course, Roby Christie. He is the Hotter Than Hell Chairman. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Well, we are excited to talk about this. Again, we mentioned it's the biggest bike ride in the country. It's so exciting that something like that takes place in our own backyard. But it's more than just a bike ride. So can you tell me maybe in a few sentences really what all Hotter Than Hell 100 entails?
Well, not only is it the largest bike race in the country, but it brings people from all over the world to our community. And I think that that really is what makes it a huge Wichita Falls pride, is that we bring people from all over, but everybody in the community gets involved. It's a family-friendly event. We have events starting from Thursday and goes all the way through Sunday. It's not just a bike race. We've got a 10K and a half marathon. We've got a spaghetti dinner. We have live music. We have a consumer show, Finish Line Village. It's all a lot of fun for the whole family. So if you're not already volunteering, come on out and enjoy the festivities.
And it is so exciting. We, of course, bring you live coverage from the event the day of. You can watch it right here on News Channel 6. And we're going to break down all of this and really how you can prepare, how you can train for Hotter Than Hell, and how all of the different aspects of what's been going on this year in our community are affecting this race, including the water and the drought. So before we get into all that, we want to get into the history of Hotter Than Hell 100 because it's so interesting. If you haven't had the chance to hear how it all got started, Roby, I'd like for you to share the story because it all started with the simple idea of celebrating Wichita Falls' 100th birthday, correct?
That's right. 33 years ago, we were asked to come up with a kickoff event for the Wichita Falls Centennial to celebrate the 100th birthday of our community. And the event, whatever it happened to be, was supposed to get regional, national, and international attention if we could get the story out. The consulting firm that came here to Wichita Falls to assist with that centennial, they had an idea of their own, and they wanted us to do a rocking chair marathon. People would go to the mall and sit in rocking chairs and see who could rock the longest. We said, no, we're not going to do that. So we went to the Wichita Falls Bicycling Club, presented the notion that we really thought we'd like to do a 100-mile bicycle ride in 100 degrees to celebrate the 100th birthday. Mark Davis said, gosh, it's going to be hotter than hell. And his jaw just dropped and he said, that needs to be the name. So it got started just that way.
Over 12,000 riders who come out to this. Can you talk about the route they're going to be going on?
All of the routes are pretty much like they were last year. The 100-mile route, for instance, leaves Wichita Falls and goes out through Iowa Park on Business 287. When it gets there, it goes over to Electra and then Pumpkin Center and across to Burt Burnett and then over toward Byron Petroleum and then back down on Highway 79. It's a really nice course. They're long straightaways, and we think that the landscape is pretty for this part of Texas and certainly great for bicycling because, well, there are no mountains. The worst part is the wind. We always have wind, and it's persistent. But it's a great course, and it'll be basically the same as last year. However, at the end of the 100-mile ride, off of Highway 79, we used to go down to Cottonwood, which approaches South Scott Street, and then turn and go Cottonwood down to Harding. That was a confusing turn. And it gets too close to the race finish. So nowadays, we're going to turn off of Highway 79 directly onto Harding and then toward the finish line. And it'll make a lot more sense to people riding and should make a better, cleaner finish.
Now, is that new this year?
That's new this year.
That is new this year. Okay. We want to talk about the water. Of course, we have made national news here in Texoma because of our water and the Water Reuse Project, of course. And really, this drought has impacted us in so many ways. So can you tell me what's being changed when it comes to addressing water and to save water, to conserve even more?
Well, we are using city water as well as Crazy Water from down in mineral wells. It's important for our city's perspective that we have faith in our water system. We've talked with those who are in charge of the water. We have access to the water to provide it to people to drink. We're not going to be using water in the big fire hose that keeps people cool at the end of the day. So that's a big change. We don't have access to hydrants at every place. And so this year, historically, we've used about 20 500-gallon tanks, and we're adding another 10 500-gallon tanks to our supply line so that we can take water to places that we could just hook up to the hydrant, but now that there are restrictions,
Sure.
It would be costly to the person allowing us to use their water, so we're taking it. We'll have a process, one, to not waste any water. We'll do a real good job of sanitizing the tanks and getting them ready, but without wasting any water. Then at the end of the day, any water that's left in those tanks will be recycled into a large tank that'll go back into the system. None will be dropped on the side of the road nor sprayed in the air. We'll be good stewards. But at the same time, the folks at Crazy Water have been a big help to the Wichita Falls Bicycling Club and Hot Hill 100 in the past. We put on a bike ride in Jack and Stevens County and Young County. It was the Texas Forge Tour, and they provided water for us to give to the riders of that. So we've invited Crazy Water to come help us at 2 of our rest stops and the finish line.
And Carol, you are the owner of Crazy Water, and we appreciate you being here with us today. And if you can just tell us a little bit more about Crazy Water and what your role is going to be providing for the riders.
Well, Crazy Water's out of Mineral Wells, Texas. We've been a part of the PACE group team for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And so some of the riders are used to drinking Crazy Water, and it's a good fit. It helps Wichita Falls save some of the resource, and it also helps the riders because the Crazy Water is different than most mineral water or bottled waters in that it's a mineral water. So it has naturally occurring minerals and electrolytes that will keep those racers hydrated and going on that long, hard ride.
How is it provided? In a water bottle, or is this?
We too are try to be very good stewards of our resources as well. And so we'll bring in the big giant 5-gallon jugs, and then they'll dispense out of those at 2 of the rest stops, and then we'll have the individual bottles at the finish line just so that we don't create a bottleneck at the finish line. So we're not going to be creating a bunch of small bottle litter for Wichita Falls either. So everyone will just reuse their bottles along the ride.
What does it mean to your company to be able to help out and conserve water in this area?
Our company's motto, it actually fits with it because our company's slogan is making people feel good inside and out since 1881. And we partner a lot, and the partnerships that we do, we try to create feel good relationships with everybody so where everyone's a winner at the end. And so the riders get a good quality water, get the minerals, and y'all help save some of your resources.
Absolutely. Julie, what does this mean for our community to have them team up this year and play a bigger role?
Well, I think that we all understand how critical our water situation is, and we just feel good to have other good partners. I mean, we have every confidence in our local water, but we do want to do our part and conserve as much as possible.
It's a lot of people coming in.
It is
so
a lot of
there's
people.
a need
Yes,
for water.
yes.
It's hot. You're outside. You're going to be drinking more water. So, of course, that's something that needs to be there and needs to be provided.
It'll have a significant impact, but I think one of the best impacts is it allows a business that's within our region
Sure.
to participate in
Yeah.
what we do and us to participate in their company's success.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing we really want to encourage our community to do is get our youth involved. And that is specifically with the shorter races and the festivities around Finish Line Village and things of that nature. The 10K is perfect for young families. It's about a 6-mile ride, which would be really easy for some of our youth. But getting them out there amongst the passion and the other serious riders, you could be amazed at the difference it would make in a child's life, seeing that kind of thing really young. So we just really like to encourage that. And the Start Smart really keeps it safe for those youngsters because it gets all the bulk of the riders out of the way before we get those kiddos up there. We get them started after everybody else leaves and finished before they get back. And the great thing is that we've partnered with Castaway Cove this year, and any family, child participant basically of the Hot Hill 100 shows up with their bib, and they'll get about a 50% discount on admission to Castaway Cove.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. A win-win for them then.
That's right. 2 weekends of fun instead of
Yes,
one.
absolutely. Well, we appreciate you breaking all this down for us, and I know we're going to be catching up with you guys as we get closer to the race as well. So we have so much more to get to. We need to take another quick break, but stay with us, Texoma. We'll be right back with much more.
This Hotter in Hell coverage is brought to you by The Bike Stop, your bicycle specialist.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look into the 33rd Annual Hotter in Hell 100. Joining me now is Sandy Munson. She is the Executive Director of the Streams and Valleys, also the Hotter in Hell 100 Race Director for the Dirt events. And Sandy, she is also known to many as the Dirt Chick, which, by the way, I love that title right there.
Oh, well, thank you. It's fun.
And speaking of the dirt events, I know this is something that grabs a lot of people's attention, which I love, including the kiddos.
So much fun, yeah. And we even have a free event for little kids called Rugrats on the Wichita. It starts after all the grown-ups leave, so there's no grown-ups that will be interfering with the little kids. The little kids ride just a few miles. It's volunteer dense, lots of people to help push those little kids up hills. And every little kid that comes out to the free event gets the same finisher medal as the grown-ups.
I love it. And that's a big medal
It's
they
a
get
big
to all
medal.
take home,
It
too.
is. It's huge, yeah. And speaking of medals, do you know how many medals you can win or you can go home with on Hotter in Hell weekend if you participate in all of the dirt events plus the road ride?
How many?
7.
7 medals. So
7.
pretty much all of these out here you see could be hanging around your neck.
That's right. Absolutely. I like bling. This is a lot of bling.
I like bling too. But that's not all. You have some other things here too, correct?
Yes, these are the triple threat trophies. If someone rides in the mountain bike race on Friday, the 100-mile endurance ride on Sunday, and then drags himself out of bed at 7 a.m. to run in the half marathon on the trail,
Wow.
no matter how fast or slow they are, they get one of these wonderful slabs of tree that says, I survived the triple threat. And if you're a fast person and you don't get injured, if you have the lowest combined time in all 3 of those events, we give one made into a clock to the fastest man and woman. These are very sought after. We have people, last year the lady that got second place broke her finger and her hand in the mountain bike event, did the whole rest of the weekend with a cast, and she came in second place.
Wow.
She's gonna win this year.
Yes, she is. That's impressive. You know what? She deserves one of those.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's impressive that people can do all of that. How do they get involved in this if they would like to take part?
Well, we have registration with the Hotter in Hell registration, but it is very impressive, and they have to be pretty good at mountain biking, road biking, and running. But it's also for the entry-level athlete. We have an entry-level mountain bike group that does the trail at a much more pedestrian pace, so they don't have to worry about anyone running them over or being upset because they're going slow. And then at the Hotter in Hell for the 100 miles, you just have to make it to Hell's Gate, and then you can kind of take it easy. And a lot of people show up on Sunday morning to run the half marathon, and they have overdone it.
Yeah.
And they always ask permission if they can walk the
Oh,
half
wow.
marathon. And I always laugh and say, of course, there's no one that's going to follow you on that trail with a shotgun saying, you must run. We encourage walking on the half marathon.
Sure. That's just impressive. I think that they did it all. So
Yeah.
excellent for them. Now, we do want to talk about the start lines whenever it comes to the dirt events. Where do they take place?
We start at the Ag Building. Last year we started that with the mountain bike event because there's so many mountain bikers now, it was just too congested where we used to start. So now we have the entire Ag Barn. We make a hallway. We have groups. It's very organized. The start is very fast and very coordinated. So we decided that we're going to start all of our events at the Ag Barn, which kind of goes, we're the dirt people, so we start over there where the horses are.
But it goes outside, correct?
Absolutely,
This is all
yes.
taking off away from the Ag Barn
Yes,
after they all
It goes
get started.
on to the Wichita Mountain Bike Trail, which, by the way, has been voted the best urban off-road trail in Texas by the Subaru Trail Doctors. It's an
really
awesome trail. We're so lucky that we have that trail.
And it sounds like the events are just growing and new things are coming, new obstacles. If there's somewhere people would like to go to learn more about what they can do, the different dirt events, where can they go to learn more about that?
The Hotter in Hell 100 webpage.
Okay, well, Sandy, we appreciate you taking time to show us all of this. We need to take another quick break, but we are not done talking about the 33rd Annual Hotter in Hell 100, so stick around. We'll be right back with much more.
This Hotter in Hell coverage is brought to you by The Bike Stop, your bicycle specialist.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look into Hotter Hell 100. Joining me now with the latest on training for this big ride and race that is coming up is Caden Burris. He is not only a former MSU cyclist and Hotter Hell digital marketing and media representative, but you are also coaching folks, helping them to get ready, I understand, for this year, which I think is pretty cool. And your business is No Gradient Coaching.
It is.
So I know we have a lot of questions for you this morning because a lot of people watching, we have them all pumped up. They want to take home all that bling that Sandy showed us a few moments ago, but they have to, of course, train to be able to get out there and win all those medals. So can you talk to us about training, and is it too late to start?
No, it's never too late. I wouldn't encourage anybody to jump out there a week in advance or anything and try to do the 100 miles, but you have plenty of time to get ready for, say the 50 or the 100K. And really, it's just about getting the time in on the bike. I mean, you start, slow at the beginning of the week, and by the weekends, hopefully the week before that, you're doing some rides as long as what you plan to do the weekend of the event.
So if I'm just starting out and I think this is something I would like to do, I'd like to take part in the Hotter Hell 100, what do I need to be doing after, of course, you have your bike and everything? What's the best thing? Is it 30 minutes a night? Is it an hour a night, as long as you can? What's the best way to go about this?
Ideally, you want to aim for the same distance you plan on going to the ride. So if somebody wants to do 50 miles during the ride, I would say they should at least be doing 50 miles every Saturday.
Wow.
And then throughout the week, they should be doing whatever extra riding they can in addition to it,
So at least once a week, you need to be doing how far you plan on going that day.
Okay. This late into the season, yeah, for sure. So.
And when it comes to training, what's the best time to maybe train? I know we've had we've been spoiled with some good weather recently, but if you're wanting to train and kind of beat the heat, when do you need to do that? Is it better in the morning? Is it better in the evening?
Definitely in the morning. The weather has actually been unseasonably cool right now, so we've definitely been encouraging people to ride. We lead pretty regular group rides at 6 or 7 a.m., Tuesdays, Thursdays. Most Monday and Wednesdays, there's rides locally at 6 p.m. in the afternoon to try to get people out of the sunlight. So those are the best times. You never want to go out in the middle of the day. You'll suffer from some dehydration and you'll tap out pretty quick. So,
what do we need to keep in mind whenever it comes to keeping hydrated and when it comes to water and even nutrition?
Nutrition-wise, people tend to, they'll burn 500 to 1,000 calories an hour. So you want to make sure you eat a lot. That's something people focus on, water a lot and staying hydrated. It's equally as important to make sure that you stay well-fed while you're riding too. As far as water goes, we encourage people to drink anywhere from 16 to 24 ounces of water just in an easy hour of riding. So on if it's a hot day and you're going a little harder than you normally do and sweating more, you definitely, you might want to put in, closer to 30, 40 ounces of water an hour. So you can overdo it with the water, but it's a lot more rare than underdoing it. So
people are wanting to train. You said that there's some riding groups if they'd like to hook up with some of those or maybe even contact you about getting some one-on-one tips. What's the best way to go about doing that?
Sure. There are group rides Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays from both of the bike shops in Wichita Falls. The Bike Stop off of Maplewood and Riverside Cycling down at the Barron's Landing right off the river. And if people are interested in some coaching, they can find me on Twitter at No Gradient.
Okay, well, we again appreciate it, and I know that a lot of people are training, so just keep an extra mind out, I think, whenever you're out on the roads as well, whenever you see cyclists too, to make sure you slow down or, of course, move over and share the road with them. I know this is a time you see a lot of activity pick up on the roads, which is it's a great thing to see in our community. So thanks again, Caden. We need to take another quick break, Texoma, but we're going to talk about really the economic impact Hotter Hell 100 has on our community after the break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with much more.
This Hotter in Hell coverage is brought to you by the Bike Stop, your bicycle specialist.
Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look at the 33rd annual Hotter Hell 100. Joining me once again with the very latest is Julie Ayers. And we also have joining with us Mr. Henry Florsheim. He is the president of the Wichita Falls Chamber of Commerce. So we appreciate you being here with us this morning as well.
Glad to be here.
We are talking about the economic impact, and of course, we wanted to hear from you. And can you tell us how much does this ride really impact our community?
Sure, it's huge in a few different ways. You could directly point to about $50 million worth of economic impact, money that's spent here because of people bringing their dollars to town. They stay here and they circulate, and that's a huge thing for us. And then you've also got the intangible aspect, the PR, the association with the race. Last fall, when I told my friends from around the country that I was moving here, the number one thing they knew about Wichita Falls was the Hotter Than Hell 100, and so you can't discount that fact either.
Yeah. We're also talking about hotels, but this is something this year that's gained a little more attention because of the new Grand Hotel. Whenever it comes to accommodations, can you address that and what folks need to keep in mind?
Well, in general, when we talk about the host home program, even before this year and the situation with the Grand Hotel, there are not enough hotel rooms in and around Wichita Falls to accommodate all the visitors that we have. And so years back, this host home program was created, and Chamber staff, Marie Libby specifically, coordinates this. And so we're looking for people that have a spare bedroom or a vacant apartment or some place where you could put up riders and their guests. They just need AC and running water. Yeah. And then a lot of our host homes will take it to the next level and provide dinner and entertainment and all sorts of things. But we need that help so we can accommodate the visitors to Wichita Falls and make sure they have a good experience.
Is the list longer this year? Are you needing more host homes?
We certainly need more. I don't have the numbers, but we need more host homes. And so anybody who's interested in either finding out more about how that works, or if you know that you want to do it and offer up your home for somebody to stay there, just call the Chamber of Commerce, ask for Marie. It's 723-2741.
And your website is always a great place to go when it comes to the hotels. I know on the website, each hotel is broken down and it said how many rooms. How often is that updated?
We do regularly update the availability of any possible rooms that we have in the area, some inside Wichita Falls itself and some in the surrounding areas. So do please take a look at our website for regular updates.
And I know your Facebook page is another great way to get involved and, of course, maybe have a conversation with people if they know of something or one of those host homes.
Absolutely. We've had some really great stories about people who couldn't keep their reservation for whatever reason. They'd post it on our Facebook page and somebody else would, claim it or take it. So they would be really excited.
I know the YMCA is doing something to kind of help folks and parents out.
Right. They are. The YMCA is always involved in the community and everything that we do, but this year they are going to have childcare available at the downtown location for anybody who wants to ride and may not have that flexibility because they have their children.
This all goes back to really wanting to get involved and helping our community out, and you can do that through volunteering. Maybe you're not able to offer up your home, but you can always step in and help volunteer. Those are always needed, right?
Absolutely. It takes over 4,000 volunteers to put on this event every year.
So when you talk about a community wrapping their arms around an event and getting involved, I mean, we're second to none. I mean, this event is the epitome of volunteer, and it's put on purely by volunteers.
This whole event was created by volunteers, right? And Wichita Falls stepped up and built something amazing, right? This is an extraordinary event, and so we're just happy to be part of it and support it, and want everybody out there to understand the real impact that this event has on the community.
Absolutely, and of course Texoma, as she mentioned, 4,000 volunteers. It can't be done without your help and your support. There's lots of ways to do that. There's even, of course, some activities leading up that you can take part in. We're going to talk about that in 2 weeks, so make sure you stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated as Hotter Than Hell 100 gets closer. We appreciate both of you being here with us this morning in Texoma. We appreciate you joining us as well. We hope you have a wonderful day. As always, we'll see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.
This Hotter Than Hell coverage is brought to you by the Bike Stop, your bicycle specialist.